Would you give us your name and a little bio background?
I will. Karl, Leigh. I lived in Gerhardt for almost 6 years. A little bit of bio background, studied engineering, computer science, but the early part of my career worked for a couple of governments, mostly in facilities and land use planning, certainly enough. Then I worked for the City of Bellevue and Transportation Division, so I'm somewhat familiar with planning. Spent my career mostly in software consulting, developer, computer science background, and served on several commissions where we moved from City of Issaquah outside of Seattle. Was the vice chair of the Urban Village Development Commission and the chair of the Economic Vitality Commission. And I also volunteer on a couple of financial committees right now, one for the CMH, the hospital, for their foundation. I'm on their finance committee, and the City of Gerhardt Budget Committee. So a little bit about us and me.
Okay. Preston.
Do you believe that the comprehensive plan as written is still applicable? And does it need to be changed? And if so, how?
So first of all, absolutely applicable. That's why we moved here. We have a choice. We looked up and down the coast and we chose this largely for the quality of life that we all enjoy. So I think it's still applicable. Totally believe in its spirit. I think there's some things that need to be reviewed in there. One of the key things as I keep rereading it is sort of the disambiguation of some of the terminology we use. Residential, urban, semi-rural, rural, almost interchangeably, and they're not really interchangeable terms. There's a few other things like that are in there that I think it needs a heavy dose of editing and cleanup. I was talking to Don Frank the other day about it. I think there's also some other things in there that are ambiguous that just the clear, more concise that we can make it will make it easier for people to interact with the city and know what they want to do in the future. So, but the spirit, absolutely, it's totally followed here. Right, I'm keeping my answers brief. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, thank you. Well, so the next question is, and what are your thoughts for now and the near future for Gerhardt? And I'm supposed to instruct you to please be as specific as possible and address Gerhardt maintaining its residential community feel, or would you prefer additional commercial and tourist growth and how they pertain to the comprehensive plan?
I think one of the key things there is the phrase additional in there. One of the things in the comp plan is talking about that our commercial development should be our commercial areas. So the Cottage Pacific Way interchange and everything we've done there. Obviously, the spaces out on 101. So additional beyond those, I don't think so. But those places, I want us to be flexible to the people that move in there. I get feedback as I talk to people within the community about, well, why is this in there? And why are we not able to do specific things? You know, specific instance might be like alcohol sales. We allow beer and wine, but no, I'll call it hard liquor, lack of a better phrase, but yet we allow it at McMillan's. I don't see anything in the comp plan that would address that specifically, but getting into details like that, I think would be important so that as the plan says, you know, this section is for the benefit of the residents. That's another area where I think terminology sort of crosses us up a little bit. I think when I talked here before, we talked about tourist and what's a tourist. Well, if you look up the definition of a tourist, a lot of our people who own homes here fit that definition. So should we use non-resident owners or something like that? So being precise on some of those pieces of terminology, I think would help the clarity of the overall comp plan.
Yeah.
How do you see your role as a planning commission member in the city government? Describe your understanding of the relationship and interaction between the planning commission and city council.
Well, I think the number one thing, obviously, is advising city council. So whether it's reviewing the city meetings, we have public forums. Some commissions operate on a quasi-judicial role. I have experience in those. So if we get in that sort of thing where we have to make a decision or a decision and a recommendation to the council, that's typically what it is. I think another key component of a planning commission, will sort of jump ahead to a question back to you all, is how do we interact with the citizens in the community? How do we gather that feedback? Me talking to two people on the golf course is information, but it's not data, right? It's something I've learned, but does that necessarily represent the broader community So that's something that the commission should absolutely be able to do, is sort of gather, collate, and represent that information.
Are you aware of any present or future conflict of interest you might have as a member of the planning commission? If a situation should arise, would you excuse yourself from voting?
You have to really find a question. No, I don't have any conflicts, and of course I would recuse myself if I foresaw or anybody said I had conflicts.
All right, and my question is the best. Do you, as a candidate for the planning commission, have a question of any of the members of the city council?
Not specifically to a member, but in general, one of the things that's in there, that's in the first part of the comprehensive plan, is talking about diversity. And the planning commission, the people and the plan represent diverse view of opinions. And my question back to you all is, what would you give us as a city, you as a council, et cetera, a grade on how well we're doing on taking the data in and then reflecting the diversity of the community? Did I make that close enough to a formal question?
I think the diversity of the membership of the planning commission is something that the mayors, who are generally the people who are appointing planning commission, I think that is a criteria that is thought about in the process that we're going through right now. At least it was for me personally, to maintain that diverse group. As far as data, yeah, I think I give us about a C
Okay,
in data collection, and my background is in quality assurance, and so, I mean, you rely on data.
exactly.
So, I'm a big fan.
I would have to say it would depend on the subject matter, really. I think we are exceptional in some ways and we struggle in other ways. And that's not terribly surprising to me. I've worked in big city entities and small city entities, and we are definitely a small city entity where, you know, some of the people at this table wear a lot of hats and things get dropped to the cracks. And should they get dropped to the cracks? No. Can we do better? Yes, we should always strive to do better. But what we need are folks like you that point that out to us, that we can do better. We need to have I think we need to have public conversations about when we're not doing well and not be afraid to shy away from that.
Okay,
You want to say something?
Councilor Deborah, do you
No, thank you.
have what deep thought?
No, I was just listening to.
Oh, I didn't know if he was going to stab me or he agreed with me.
all right, well, thank you.
Thank you.